So I want to open the phones up in the second hour. And Laura Loomer, who confronted Hillary Clinton again, had the Secret Service go after her. Hillary was in a toilet paper aisle. Who would not think of the optics of that? It's all coming up in the second hour. We have a lot of HD footage Loomer sent us that she didn't stream out live, that nobody's seen. Rob Dew came in, put it together in an HD report. We're going to premiere the start of the next hour. It is all coming up at Infowars.com/show. Because remember, if you're a radio listener, you can also watch Infowars.com/show. Remember, folks, we're the most hated, most demonized media in the United States and also in Europe to a great extent because we've got our finger on the pulse. The mainstream media reads off teleprompters. They get talking points from the Ford Foundation and the Rockefeller Foundation and from the State Department. And they're all just a bunch of pseudo-intellectuals that try to look credible. They don't know that if North Korea strikes South Korea or Japan, there's a total commitment to plan to hit them with about 150 tactical nuclear weapons. So that's the only plan there is. I mean, you've got to kill all those armies. We go back to 1953 when MacArthur wanted to drop atomic bombs on 3 million Chinese troops coming across the Yalu River. And the average trendy, even a CNN host, they don't know all that. They just go, conspiracy theorist, kook, weirdo, he believes there's Martian bases. Never said that because they're not historians. They didn't work 6 hours today before I went on air. 4 hours here before I went on air. Researching. They just go, oh, Alex Jones is a kook. It doesn't matter. Our audience is bigger than many of your networks combined, and you hate it. And despite all your censorship, it's failing. Because you're so discredited while you try to censor us but build a straw man up of who we are. Enough of your audience is smart enough to go, they're attacking this guy constantly. We ought to actually hear what he's really doing. I don't want to get up here and attack Nikki Haley, but she says stuff routinely that just isn't right. Like, we'll be happy to run out of diplomatic options and just give this to the Secretary of Defense to have a military option. You don't talk like that. Because if we've got to drop or detonate or fire by artillery hundreds of tactical weapons to take out the million-man army they got on the border and the 100,000 pieces of artillery, we don't want to be saying we were happy about that, not just for optics, but for mojo. You don't want to have to do this. You want the moral high ground. And you certainly don't want to have to go to nuclear war because the globalists gave North Korea nuclear weapons and thought they'd blackmail the United States into surrender to communist China through their set piece down the road. We're breaking with globalist policy. That's why Trump's real. But we're not happy about the hole that Hillary and Bill Clinton put us in when they gave those systems to North Korea. It's not something I'll have to report you to the principal. I'm more than happy to send you to the principal to get licks. This isn't sending some student to the principal to get licks. We're not happy North Korea's run by a nutcase. We're not happy he's got nuclear weapons. We're not happy he's got ICBMs. We're not happy to go to the military option. But if we do, total commitment, upfront, preemptive strike, destroy the country. And that isn't acting tough like all you wannabe tough guys that don't do the research, that don't put the hours in. I'm sick of it, and I'm angry about it. I have 4 children. If China and North Korea and Russia think that the United States is going to back off from this, they're idiots. But if people out there that think, oh, we're just dealing with North Korea, they're idiots too. We're dealing with Russia, and we're dealing with China. That's what this is about. And it's about breaking that deal that Harry Truman made way back then to sell us out to the UN. And this Frankenstein that's North Korea. Here's Nikki Haley on the Communist News Network.
Wanted to be responsible and go through all diplomatic means to get their attention first. If that doesn't work, General Mattis will take care of it.
Well, by saying General Mattis will take care of it, you're talking about the Pentagon and you're talking about a military option.
Just wave
Is that
a wand?
what Fire and Fury meant?
You have to ask the president what fire and fury meant, but I think we all know that basically if North Korea keeps on with this reckless behavior, if the United States has to defend itself or defend its allies in any way, North Korea will be destroyed.
Yeah, that's what fire and fury, because Bash keeps asking, what's that mean? What's that mean? It's like, I'm going to knock your lights out. What's that mean? I'm going to knock you upside the head. The media will spin that I'm threatening to punch Dana Bash. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, I'm going to knock your lights out means I'm going to knock you upside the head. I'm going to knock you out. Fire and fury means nuclear weapons. And they've moved them into place. People are asking me, how did you know? Were you giving classified info? How did you know months ago that it'd be tactical nukes in the DMZ and taking out, their main cities and everything? Because you have to. They're an armed camp of brainwashed psychopaths that the minute you do anything or respond, all hell's going to break loose. So things are very, very serious, and we have to be very, very focused right now, obviously, on what's happening. Now, I have another clip I want to play of the Prime Minister of England talking about the situation and what's been unfolding with the terror attacks. But everyone's ignoring. Europe lets in the UN refugee program now says 10 million people the last 5 years, 80+% are military-age men. And then you wonder why there's terror attacks. You wonder why there's acid attacks every hour or so, why there's stabbings, why they run over people, why there's bombings, and then they go, oh, don't worry, we'll spy on everybody and take your rights and ban any criticism of Islam because that might be stirring them up. No, they kill each other in their own countries. They're not compatible in a civilization. If they're Islamists that are heretics and want to live in a free country, then I'm all about bring them here. My issue isn't their brown skin. My issue is the ideology of their pink brain. It's rotten. So here's May, who's declared martial law with troops on the street. It's like leaving your front door open and then sending guards to stand over your children and act like they're the criminals. They've let in the Islamic threat to then bring in a police state, and I should think it was just for a police state. No, we're not politically involved as Christians. The Muslims have got all this money. They bought the governments off. This is their long-term, 1,000+ year program. Hell, ask folks in Turkey. Used to be Constantinople. Look at the beautiful mosque the Muslims built. It's the Blue Church. It's the same old war, folks. It's who they are. They know who they are. They have an identity. We don't. The globalists took it from us before they tried to conquer us, and they're using Islam as their weapon to do it. Here is the Prime Minister.
Terrorism Analysis Center, that's the independent organization which is responsible for setting the threat level on the basis of available intelligence, has now decided to raise the national threat level from severe to critical. This means that their assessment is that a further attack may be imminent. Following JTAC's decision, the police have asked for authorization from the Secretary of State for Defense to enact part of the first phase of Operation Tempora. This is a well-established plan to provide military support to the police. And for this period, military personnel will replace police officers on guard duties at certain protected sites which are not accessible to the public. The public will see more armed police on the transport network and on our streets, providing extra protection.
All right, so disarm the public, bring in a bunch of Islamists, let them kill you, totally protect them, and then put troops on the street, and then double the amount of people being arrested for criticizing Islam. We get your plan.
Electrify your day with Secret 12. It's like lightning in a bottle. We all have days in which we just can't seem to perform at the level we'd like to. InfoWars Life Secret 12 is designed to naturally energize your body and mind with 2 great tasting and super high quality forms of vitamin B12. Proper vitamin and nutrient intake is essential to keep your body functioning at optimum levels. The reality is, it's hard to take in the proper amount of vitamins we need each day with our modern diets. Secret 12 by InfoWars Life is an easy way to naturally upgrade your vitamin B12 intake and support your body's natural system. systems. It pairs 2 forms of vitamin B12 into one explosive formula. Vitamin B12 supports healthy energy levels through red blood cell formation and aiding in the body's natural processes, but it also assists with many other functions of the body. Electrify your mind and body and take your health to the next level. Experience the power of Secret 12 at InfoWarsLife.com. That's InfoWarsLife.com.